Hello everyone, welcome to one more video of Special Biotonic. Students, in the last video we talked about the process of pollination. It is a transfer of pollens from anther to the stigma. Here, pollens are transferred from anther to the stigma by some agents. These agents are called pollinators. So in this video, we will discuss about the pollinators and their types in detail. Students, these pollinators are broadly divided into two types, abiotic and biotic. In case of abiotic factors, the pollens are transferred by non-living agents such as wind and water, whereas in case of biotic factors, living agents such as insects, birds and bats, they help in transfer of pollens. Students, these are the technical terms for those pollinators. Accordingly, the wind pollination is called anemophily. The pollination by water is called hydrophily. Similarly, when the pollens are carried by the insects, it is called entomophily. In case of ornithophily, the pollens are carried by birds. In the last case, that is chiropterophily, pollens are carried by bats. So let us start with the first type, that is anemophily. Here, the pollens are carried from anthers to the stigma by wind. Such flowers are called anemophilous flowers. This type is common in jowar, bajra, maize and wheat. Anemophilous flowers are small, inconspicuous, colorless, with no nectar and fragrance. Pollens are light in weight and more in number due to loss during wind pollination. Stamens are long with versatile anthers, and here stigma is feathery. Students, this is a picture of maize plant. It undergoes wind pollination. Here the flowers are unisexual. Male flowers are present at the end of the stem, whereas the female flowers arises in the axil of the leaf. As both male and female flowers are present on the same plant, such plants are called monoecious plant. As pollens are light in weight, it is easily carried by the wind. In hydrophily, the pollens are carried from anther to stigma by water. Such flowers are called hydrophilous flowers. The examples of such type are Vallisneria, Zostera and Ceratophyllum. Such hydrophilous flowers are small, inconspicuous, colorless, with no nectar and fragrance. Pollens are long and doesn't wait due to mucilage covering. Perianth and other parts are also unwettable. Students, there are two types in hydrophily. First is epihydrophily. Here, the pollen grains float on the surface of water and reach to the stigma of the female flower. This is the picture of Vallisneria, which shows epihydrophily. Here, the plants are unisexual. The left one is male plant, which produces male flowers, and the right one is the female plant, which produces female flowers. Male flowers detaches from the plant and it comes on the surface of water. Even the female flowers come on the surface by uncoiling of the stalk. Pollination takes place on the surface of water, so it is epihydrophily. The second type is hypohydrophily, where pollination occurs not on the surface but occurs below the surface of water. Pollens are long, heavy, ribbon-like, and they sink down. These pollens are caught by stigmas of the female flower. Example is Zostera. In the biotic factors, we will start with insect pollination. It is called entomophily. Such flowers are called entomophilous flowers. Here, the plants such as rose, jasmine, sistrum, water hyacinth, water lily, and salvia shows entomophily. Entomophilous flowers are large, showy, attractive due to colored petals. They also produce nectar and fragrance. Pollens are less in number with rough exine and covered by yellow sticky pollen kit. Stigma is rough due to hairs, or it may be sticky due to mucilaginous secretions. Students, these are the pictures of salvia. Its flowers are bisexual, that is, this flower shows both androecium and gynoecium. Here the corolla is bilobed, that is, it has upper lobe and lower lobe. The anthers are of two types, the sterile anther on the inner side and fertile anthers on the upper side. These two anthers are connected by connective. It shows lever mechanism. When insects lands on the lower lobe, the fertile anthers deposits pollens on the surface of insect, which is carried to the next salvia flower, that is entomophily. The second example in biotic pollinator is ornithophily. Here the pollens are carried by birds, and such flowers are called ornithophilous flowers. Bombax, Callistemon, Butea are some examples of it. Such flowers are large, showy, attractive due to colored petals. They also produce a lot of nectar. Pollens are less in number with rough exine and stigma is sticky. They are without fragrance as birds have poor sense of smell. The last type is chiropterophily. Here, the pollens are carried by bats. Such flowers are called as chiropterophilous flowers. Its examples are Anthocephalus, Adansonia, Kigella pinnata, etc. Such flowers are large, but they are not attractive. They produce strong fragrance. These flowers produce abundant nectar. They also produce large quantity of edible pollens. Students, it is interesting to know that even snails and snakes also help in pollination process. So students, I hope you're clear with the concept of pollinators and their various types. In the next video, I'll discuss about various outbreeding devices. So stay home, stay safe. Thank you.